Freeze your enemies. Shatter them into 1,000 pieces.
Just what we needed. All we need now is a CO2 scrubber. Looks like someone's been decrypting a code. We've confirmed completion of the ace in the hole. Suchong has it, but unlikely to give it up easily. We'll update when we know more. What's that all about? Another coded message. Attempt to retrieve ace in the hole from Suchong unsuccessful. Ryan Private Security killed 3 of our men in the bargain. We'll need to explore alternate means of obtaining ace. Where there's bathyspheres, there's bound to be CO2 scrubbers.
And why is that?
If you don't remove the carbon dioxide from the air supply in a submersible, it'll suffocate. And one thing I did like about Rapture, lots of new books to read. But we'll need a long-haul bathysphere, something where the CO2 buildup would limit the submersible period.
You okay?
I've seen all this happen before. I've seen everything that will happen, and now I only see darkness.
You sent yourself here for a reason.
A debt.
That's what you want to call it.
This Atlas. I'm gonna have to kill him. Either that or he'll kill me.
Maybe so.
I'm not you, Booker. Some war hero. I'm not even me anymore. No tears, no omniscience, or whatever you want to call it. Just a whole lot of book learning. And a handful of lockpicks. Humpback whale. That thing is as old as the hills. Strictly bargain basement. You gotta wear an O2 tank and a mask. We won't find a scrubber on that. Oh, the 52 Mako. Classic. But it's a death trap. 28 known fatalities related to its use. Carbon dioxide poisoning. And they're still on the market.
Steeply discounted, though.
There, the Stingray. Submersible time of 90 minutes. That's our girl.
All the way up there.
The grease monkeys had to get it up there somehow. Just gotta find the controls.
It's simple. You want to mind control everybody? Public control.
You're tuned to Radio Rapture. Music for the discerning ear.
Okay.
And now,
Want to hear my latest
we've
number?
got something very
Coming up
special
next.
coming up next. This little lady, who goes by the name of Miss Elizabeth, was picked out of the thousands by the maestro himself, Sander Cohen. And when Sander finds a songbird, you know for sure she's gonna sing sweet. So here's Miss Elizabeth with You Belong to Me.
Of course, the buildings are being fabricated above the waves. But we will lower them on a lunette ring, submerged into the structure's steel frames. So much steel, you wonder. How will we keep so large a purchase from the government? Water is buoyant. We shall not frame Rapture in steel, but in aluminium. The government jackals may suspect me of building an air force, but never a city.
This is gonna be noisy.
Come on out, you!
I see what you done here.
Well, enough of that.
You ain't gonna do it
I
again.
got work to do. Canary in a coal mine. Somebody's lurking about.
Whereabouts of the foreign bitch scientist unknown. Ryan presumes she's dead, but our guess is she's gone underground with the Little Sisters. Options on obtaining the ace are dwindling. Got it. That was the last of it.
Now you think you can manage the repair?
Sure. I've been fixing quantum field generators since kindergarten.
So make it great.
Any progress, love? I must confess, I'm becoming a wee bit skeptical.
Remind me, why am I supposed to care?
You see, me lads have taken a keen thirst for Adam, and there's a vintage right in front of me that'll do nicely.
If you kill her, I truly hope you are happy living down here. Put down roots, raise a family. Or maybe you think Andrew Ryan is going to ride to your rescue.
Fair enough. But remember, there are fast ways to harvest little sisters, and some very slow ones.
Atlas, the heat is on. Ryan knows something's up and is sending men to investigate the department store. Suggests you lay in supplies at the Manta Ray Lounge and prepare for a siege. Looks like there's something in the Manta Ray Lounge worth investigating.
Silence.
Those bottles. Just like on the coded note to Fontaine. Fontaine and Atlas. Son of a bitch.
Sushong, I'm gonna make this clear as can be, so we don't have any miscommunications. Where the hell is the ace in the hole? You think you can stiff Frank Fontaine? I paid good money for state-of-the-art weaponry. I ain't losing this war just because you found yourself a higher bidder. I can promise you, I ain't never been one to lose with dignity.
Another one. Well, not the perfect phosphor frequency, but it'll do. How we won't immediately die of CO2 poisoning the moment we turn the thing on. Okay, that should stop it from overheating. There, everything's fixed. We're ready.
Let's fire it up and see.
What's this?
What did I tell you?
lady. It can't be this easy. The First Lady Mark II was built around a particle lift system just like all the buildings in the city. I read all about it in the Columbian Scientific. The particles seated at the top of the structure must be up that lift. Perfect.
Seems like a lot of technology just to float an airship. Comstock never heard of hydrogen.
The First Lady Mark I did run on hydrogen, and it was destroyed by a single bullet from a Vox sniper. Unfortunately, the Prophet wasn't on board at the time. If I take the active particle, then the First Lady is just a 40-ton paperweight. Best to take the spare. Here we go. Now let's head back through that tear.
You honestly expect Atlas to honor his side of the deal?
No, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
How do you plan on handling Atlas? He ain't just some spliced-up maniac.
He'll make a mistake. I just have to be ready to take advantage of it when it happens.
All for a girl you barely know.
How well did you know me when you came to Columbia? Nothing but trouble that way. Best to head straight back to Rapture.
Pretty lady not finished yet.
What? Open the tear.
Power for device very expensive. Tit for tat.
Just tell me what you want.
Such a want something simple. Lock of hair.
Oh, you're not serious.
Not your hair, stupid. Fink has a secret life. Mothballed, forgotten. In there, hair sample. In jar. Cannot miss it. You get for suture. Then everybody friends.
Where's his lab?
Closed off, past Fink's quarters. You smart lady, you find.
Should have seen that one coming.
Vox Populi. We must have arrived right in the middle of the siege.
That means the other you and I are probably inside the factory. On our way up to the First Lady.
And what happens if we run into ourselves?
We won't.
How do you know that?
Because we didn't.
I've taken your counsel, and you done me good service, but I will not hurt the boy. I will see Fink and Comstock burn, but I will not hold the son to account for the deeds of his father.
You've misunderstood us.
We neither asked you to harm the child.
Nor did we promise that yours would be the hand that would set Comstock's world afire.
A famous man once said,
And a famous man shall say,
I may reach the mountaintop,
but I fear I shall never visit the valley below.
But you mean I won't live to see the... No.
It's up to you what matters more.
Your part in the play?
Or the play itself.
Someone is coming.
She'll arrive a girl.
She must leave. A woman.
And what makes the difference between a girl and a woman?
Blood.
Your part in the play.
Or the play itself.
Turn her into a killer? How?
Give the girl no choice.
And she will be forced to make one.
Yeah, there's a war coming. You can smell it in the air. Fear, hatred, people dying every day. But how many more will suffer if we rise up? Violence begets violence, I know this. I've seen this. The rational mind argues for a peaceful solution to find a common ground, but what common ground is there to find for a father who watches his child bleed out in the street? How do you deny him his vengeance? I know that fire that burns deep inside. I know it all too well. And when the time comes, will I be able to stay to hand?
Think.
What's that thing you just picked up?
My guess is that it has something to do with that giant clock out there. And that clock has something to do with opening the door to Fink's lab.
A giant clock.
Sort of. Looks like the mechanism unlocks certain activities when Fink gives his blessing.
So what? We're stuck waiting for the cuckoo to go off?
No. We've already found the clock key. We can manually wind it. Open whatever door we please.
Sure seems like a lot of work to lock down a few doors.
Well, if there's one thing Fink loves, it's a lot of work.
Sea slugs. Goddamn sea slugs. Could that Oriental have come up with a more inconvenient fuel for his plasmids? If there is a God, and I've seen more evidence to the contrary than in support, you'd think he'd have put Adam into the belly of a nice little seagull or crow. The cost of all these underwater expeditions are murdering my margins.
As to the matter of religion, let me place myself in the camp of the agnostic. I pretend to understand the mysteries of the infinite no more than you, Comstock, or anyone else for that matter. But for the sake of argument, let's say this is all one unhappy accident, and we are all alone in our toils. Then who would Comstock use to control and shame us with rules that apply only to those with not a penny in their pocket? If there were no God, you could rest assured the first deed done by the first rich man would be inventing him.
Good. How to get that idiot his lock of hair.
Listen, I got you your gun. I'm here for my issue.
But my Booker DeWitt died for the Vox Populi. You either an imposter or a ghost. My Booker DeWitt was a hero to the cause, a story to tell your children. You just complicate the narrative.
Look, are you there? I miss you. You were the only one who ever... You were my only friend. Booker.
I'm not even here. I'm a projection of your own.
Could you humor me then? Please.
I think Booker would miss you.
Now, I know there's been some concern about the nature of the work we do here at Fink Manufacturing. Why, some say they're uncomfortable with the purported harm and suffering our research brings. But friends, let me pose a simple question. Is there anything you would not do to guarantee the health and safety of your loved ones? My interest is the future health of your children. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Daisy sacrificed herself. Set me up to kill her, to turn me into what?
A killer.
Yeah, well, mission accomplished. I'm no martyr. How did you do it, Booker? How did you...
Elizabeth, I'm not Booker.
Neither am I.
Seems like Fink and Suchong were sharing their research.
Like the Lutesses. Cross-reality collaboration. It all makes a kind of sense. The little sisters and the big daddies. Songbird and me.
Constants and variables. What is all this?
Imprinting. That's a wire mother. If you separate a gorilla from its real mother, it will imprint on almost anything. Even that.
Why would Fink care about that?
Songbird. He wanted him to imprint on me.
Well, if I recall, that was a problem he solved. What's that?
It's a skeletal formula for oxytocin. That's the chemical that bonds mothers to children, women to men, and...
Songbirds to little girls?
Apparently not. Fink dismissed it as an unsuitable vector. These poor things. Fink couldn't get them to imprint, so I left them to die. Imprinting failed. That can't be right. Clearly they formed a connection between Songbird and me.
How?
I was so young, I always remember him just being there. It must be a prototype or something.
Is it a human?
Does it matter? Booker, the little girl in the film. It's me. My God. Oh, I remember he'd crashed into the tower. I guess he was in some sort of fight. I waited there thinking I don't know, that something would happen, but he just lay there. Moaning. I couldn't just...
The line with the thorn in its paw. So much for science.
I should have just left him there to die. I should have just... I will never escape it. Exploited, exploiting, me, Comstock, you, Sally. It's like a wheel of blood spinning round and round. Well, this must be the genetic sample Suchong wanted.
He sent you all the way back here for a sample of your own hair?
He doesn't know I was once the child that imprinted on Songbird. But to him, all of the answers lie in DNA. Men like Suchong mistake an ounce of empathy for a pound of science. Do you think Daisy really even had a choice?
What do you mean?
Right about now, I'm planting a pair of scissors in her back to protect a child she was never going to harm. But she chose to die for her revolution. What about me? For all the endless worlds, all the infinite possibilities. Did I ever even have a choice? Did you?
Yeah. Booker thought he did.
Look where it got us. Right back where we started. All these infinite universes. And yet we end up just going down the same paths.
I don't take your meaning.
My father sold me to settle a market. Comstock locked me up in a tower. And I sold Sally for what? Revenge? To prove a point?
And yet, here you are, settling the debt.
And say we find her. The old past their damage to the young. Isn't it too late for her now?
Well, I'd say that's up to her to decide. Justice coming back here was up to you.
Rapture runs on children. Little girls with gold growing in their bellies. I'm not gonna break any cycle. If I'm lucky, maybe I can dent it. Just a little.
Pretty lady has the hair? Deal is deal. Bring it to Sujong.
Pretty lady put hair sample in tube. Then, business is finished.
What's going on out there?
Bloodshed, violence, but not relevant to our arrangement.
Suchong, we had a deal, now open.
Do you know what they call someone who enters a man's home uninvited? A thief. And I do not remember inviting you into my city.
I had a deal with Suchong.
Yi Shuchong is my employee. It was not a deal he was authorized to make.
What do you want?
I granted Atlas and his thugs asylum. You serve those same men in a desire to escape from my generosity. If they shall not have asylum, then they shall have liquidation. Give a parasite an ounce of charity. He'll demand a pound.
I'm just looking for a girl that was taken from me. A little sister.
I don't claim to understand what you are, but I know that you are special. There is business we can do together. And so I give you a choice. Work for me or die with Atlas.
I'm not going anywhere without that girl.
If it's a little sister you want, that shouldn't stand in the way of commerce. I've got dozens of them.
I won't leave without her.
My men stand ready to take down the door. In 60 seconds, they will enter the room. They will either treat you as a valued employee of Ryan Industries, or as a thief in the night.
60 seconds.
There must be half a dozen of them or more. I've got to get ready. Now traps. I can use the plasmids as traps and seed the room with them. I gotta find somewhere to hide and surprise them. Take them down one by one. Booker, I'm scared.
They'll underestimate you, Elizabeth. People always do.
40 seconds. You know what I see on your face? Uncertainty. Who is this girl to you? 30 seconds. Do you know the value of the shark? Without them, the sea would be littered with the detritus of the weak. The men who come for you have much in common with those great animals. What sharks do for the ocean, these men do for rapture. 20 seconds. I will tell you something you already sense. Atlas does not honor agreements. Andrew Ryan does. I cannot save your Sally, but I can save you. Time, you're not a hero. You're not even a parasite. You're just a room. And Andrew Ryan has no time for rooms.
Gonna make short work. Don't think you can hide. Come on out. You got my full attention. Stupid jerk. What was that? Better you than me. This hide and seek. I'm not taking the next bullet. You should. Get back here! He's down for the count.
I beat your sharks, Ryan. The better man won. Isn't that the only thing you respect? Now let me the hell out of here.
Sounds like all hell's breaking loose out there. What's your plan?
I can't just place the particle on the ceiling. It would just tear right through it. But every building in Rapture was submerged into the ocean on the Lunette ring, connected to the junction of its load-bearing supports.
That's fascinating and all, but if you haven't noticed, Ryan sent his goons to murder us. If you're gonna pull a rabbit out of a hat, now's the time to do it.
Looks like the structural junction is in Frank Fontaine's office. If I can get there, I can float the building.
It so happens I've taken that bastard's office for my own use. I'll make sure you've access to the private elevator. Now hurry.
Elizabeth, you know Atlas is going to...
I know. And I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I sent myself here for a reason. Didn't I?
And who exactly are you speaking to, Miss Comstock? If I were less acquainted with the vicissitudes of genius, I suspect I would question your sanity. I know so little of you, but I imagine the more I learned, the more exceptional I would find you. You know Atlas will betray you.
And what are you? My best friend?
You're one of a kind in this world, or others. And now, your misguided sense of altruism sends you to your doom. It's like watching Isaac Newton die in a house fire. A vain attempt to save his cat.